Hello.
And welcome. I'm Jacob Hall. I'm the managing editor at Slashfilm.com. And if you're remotely interested in the world of horror movies, you've probably heard about a new film called Host, shot entirely with a social distance cast and crew under pandemic lockdown. It's about a group of friends who conduct a seance over Zoom and how everything literally goes to hell when they mess with forces beyond their comprehension. And since we took the wrong lesson from that film, we are here today to do our own seance over Zoom. Joining me from Slashfilm are our writers, Chris Evangelista.
Hello.
Hoai-Tran Bui.
Hey.
And director of Host is also here, Mr. Rob Savage. Rob, can you introduce yourself and the rest of your cast?
Hey, so I'm Rob Savage. I'm the director, co-writer, exec producer of Host. I'm here with Jed Shepard, the co-writer, exec producer of Host, Gemma Hurley, the other writer, and our amazing cast, Caroline Ward, Radina Drandova, Hayley Bishop, Jemma Moore, and Teddy Linard.
And of course, we're also joined by RH. RH, can you tell us what you're doing here and how you'll be overseeing this event?
Yes, of course. So I am Rachel Stavis. I am technically an exorcist, not a medium. Mediums deal mostly with deceased people, which we're going to do today for fun. I normally deal in the world of the darker things, which your movie actually explored, which opened the door to those things. We're going to keep those things out today, but we are going to go through a seance today that we're going to participate in together. So I'm going to have you guys kind of do a little bit first, and then I'm going to do a little bit for you.
Yeah, so real quickly, Rob, what kind of research went into Host? How accurate is Host in terms of the basic setup of an online seance?
Well, we actually, I did a TV movie about 4 or 5 years ago that had a medium character in it. So as part of my research for that, I actually went and joined a spiritualist church and hung out with a bunch of mediums. I did a seance every Wednesday night in a town hall in Hounslow for about 6 months. And what really struck me was just how different it was from the kind of the Hollywood version of a medium, and how much more grounded and how much more of a positive experience it was for the people involved. And I kind of wanted to bring an element of that into Host. And as part of our research for Host and the writing process, we brought in that medium friend of mine to stage a Zoom seance for the guys, just to see how they'd react, and also just to get a sense of how something like this would operate over Zoom, and how that would be different from doing an in-person seance.
And this is an open question to all the cast members. Did you have any experience with seances or anything remotely supernatural before this?
The first time for me was when we did the seance with Rob and the rest of the cast. I've never done anything like this before. I didn't have any experiences, so I am naturally a little bit skeptical, but I'm open to trying new things. I'm open to see. So that's on my end.
Anyone else have any?
Gemma, tell them. Oh, sorry, go on.
I would say I have a friend of mine who is not a medium by trade, but is connected in that way, and she's done readings for me in the past. My dad passed away about 5 years ago, so I've gotten to speak to him through her, which, you know, whether you believe or not, was a great experience for me.
Gemma, do you want to talk about your experience in the real seance?
So I'm terrified of life, and there was, when we had the first seance, I was really, really scared, and I was like, in my head, I was like, please don't nothing happen to me, please don't nothing happen to me. And then a massive bang came. There's like a big door here, and a massive bang came from behind the door, and a book had fallen off my bookshelf. And so very much like Host, I stood up immediately, but unlike Gemma, my character, I burst into tears and started laughing, but also at the same time, because these are my friends, I was like trying to play it really cool. So I was like, yeah, guys, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then I sat down, and then when I sat down, I like pulled the laptop screen. So it was like this. And I was like, yeah, guys, I'm fine. Like tears in my eyes. And then actually Douglas Cox, our producer, and actually Gemma, you were really, really nice. And everyone was like, Rob and Jed, not nice. No.
I was just like, what is Gemma doing? This is.
And then you guys were like, what is it? Keep asking questions. And then Gemma and Doug were like, okay, guys, we're just gonna wrap it up. It's fine. And then as we did that, the medium cut out. And so then I was like, What? So we're technically still in another seance, so I don't know if you can mix it like drinks. Like, is it a good thing if you could mix seance like drinks? But we'll see.
And Caroline, didn't you get warned never to mess with the spirit?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, no, my family, we have a history of like certain connections throughout my family. And my dad was.
Oh no!
Begins.
Wow.
Caroline?
I can see her breathing.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe go on to someone else.
This
We've
is
done
where,
so many interviews and managed not for this to happen, so this is a new.
as long as the head doesn't start smashing.
Teddy, you had a pretty scary experience that you told us at the beginning of it.
Oh, I don't want to hear this again.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So I was in Ireland staying in the stunt house, which rumour has it was haunted, which I can testify to. So we were there for a couple of nights, and the room's always got a bit of a weird vibe to it. And there's little stuff that kind of happened, like I'd wake up feeling cold, like when the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up, and just a little bit of an eerie sensation. But then there was one night when I woke up and my bed covers had been pulled off, which kind of was a bit weird because there's no one else in the room. And then I woke up to being pulled off the bed. And there's nothing like behind you, like, because I sat down and tried to rationalize it. And I was like, well, maybe I pushed off the wall, or maybe I was having a bad dream. But I was being pulled by my leg off the end of the bed. That was fucking terrifying. I didn't stay in that room for the rest of the trip. So that's the only kind of experience I've had. So needless to say, I'm not thoroughly looking forward to this one. I actually went. I spoke to the boys. I was telling them earlier. I went to the local church and got some water blessed by the Lord, by the vicar, which I put on all of the entrances and exits. I've also got about 20 different types of sage. I've got the St. Christopher's thing on. I've got some bands on. I feel like I'm protected, guys. Hopefully.
So before we get around to this, RH, can you explain your history with this? This is like not a movie for you. This is professional. So tell us all about what you do for a living and how wrong or right host gets it.
Okay. So I am, I guess, a professional exorcist, if there's such a thing. I've been doing this here in Hollywood for about a little over a decade. I have a memoir that came out with HarperCollins not that long ago. And I take, what people consider demons out of people and places. And what we're doing today is deceased people, like I said, so that's a little different. We're hopefully not gonna let any of those other things in, like you had in Host. But actually, I have to tell you that I think that was really on par. I thought it was really well done. I was actually impressed because, to be truthful with you, because I also write, so I'm actually a writer for a living here as well. I write for television and film. And I always joke when I take meetings that everyone gets it wrong. There are like 3 movies that get it right, or like, one show that's like, yeah, wow, that's really good. And I think this is one of them, because you can actually do that. You can actually bring something that you don't want in if you don't have the right tools and you're not doing it from as cheesy as this sounds, like a place of love, high frequency place. So we can invite bad things in, which we're not going to do today. But yeah, I thought it was awesome.
How do we? What kind of things invite that negative energy or invite those?
Rob, yeah, don't.
No.
Don't even.
So we don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, so. Full disclosure, right? We have emailed about this a couple of times. There are a few things that I wanted you guys to have in your own spaces.
It's us.
Yeah, pronounce this one as well.
When I have seances here in person, I actually do all of those things for people. But since we're doing it this way, it's like impossible to do that, really. So you kind of have to have all the little things for yourself. So certain, what I call high frequency incenses, certain candles, certain things, at least at minimum, help protect you a bit from that.
Okay.
Sage?
I don't have any of those things. Will I be okay? Or
I mean, we're gonna double check on you.
okay.
So we light the incense now, or should we wait till?
Incense that my parents use for the altar at the
perfect.
Vietnamese, and we do ancestral like altar sort of stuff. So,
That's very high frequency, so that's great. So we don't want to do the incenses first, because what we'll do is actually have everything leave before we start. So we want to do the incenses after, like right when we're ending.
I have a candle for the movie Ghost, so it says Ghost on it. Will that be okay?
Just need to get a Sharpie and just that G, just
yeah.
throw that out.
All right. So I'm going to turn my light off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready? I'm going to turn my light off as well.
Rob and Jed, if you got any pranks planned, mate, just fuck off right now.
Are we all lighting our candle at the same time?
Do we light a candle now?
Oh, mine's already lit.
Don't light your candles just yet.
Oh.
Or if you do, we're going to do something with
So my candle's like a sensual like it says sensual candle on it. Does it mean that I'm gonna bring weird spirits in? I just want to know now.
You know what? Maybe someone you know who had a little crush on you will be the first one to show up.
Yeah.
Had a crush on you and is dead, Gemma.
Right, no touching. No contact. Thank you. Consent.
All right.
Okay, so if you're going to go ahead and start your candle, I'm going to ask you to do something super weird with it. And I'll turn mine on actually as well.
Oh, it's not as dark as I thought it was. Thank God for that.
Okay.
Are we lighting it?
It smells really nice. That smells really good. It's a different kind of vibe in Gemma's box.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do something which probably no medium has asked you to do, and if they have, I'll be super, super impressed. But I would love for you to just take this like close to you, don't burn yourself, but close to you up, and literally just into it. And if it goes out, that's okay, just relight it.
Wait, eyes open and closed?
It's up to you.
Okay.
All right. Are we all there? Great. So before I start, and since you guys have had experiences doing it this way, and like I said, I have not, so this is new for me doing it this way. But just in general, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about subtlety. Because normally when we pull in deceased people, the signs are subtle. Like, for example, with you having a book that comes off the shelf, that's pretty hardcore. It might happen again, it might not, but normally they come in just as feelings, touches, a little bit of sound, visions, thoughts, you know, this kind of thing. However they communicate to you is usually quite subtle, because usually, again, we're dealing with relatives or friends and they don't really want to scare you. So they don't try to scare you. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So another thing that I would totally love for you guys to do, and this is just kind of a homework, okay, is that I'd love you to, if you don't have your phones near you, which I totally understand if you don't, it's sometimes when we talk about the subtlety, you will actually pick up more things when you take pictures during this process than you will see with your eyes. So if you do have your phone handy, it won't distract me, and hopefully it won't distract you. When you start calling things in, because like I said, we're going to participate together. So when you do, it'd be really cool for you to take pictures around your space to pick up what your eye won't.
Is it better with the flash on or the flash off?
I like a flash off, but you know, if it happens, it happens. So we can just.
So are we doing like, is it like selfie or like just, behind us? Or?
You know, do you remember? Like, I'm very old. Okay, so do you remember when we didn't have like these high tech like cameras on the phone? So you used to walk around with digital cameras if you were looking for spirits, let's say, right? You would ghost hunt or whatever with digital cameras, and it's because it's so much faster. And the way that spirits actually move energy-wise is so freaking fast. So to catch them, your eye doesn't a lot of times. So there were many times, for example, where I was in a place and had a tour and didn't see anything with my eyes, but I would actually pick it up with the camera. So just thought, okay. And then also one more thing that I want to ask before we actually start is that I would love for you guys to continue to just like, if you have anything that happens beyond this hour or whatever it is, to just make notes of that, because sometimes it will go on for like, let's say 8-9 more hours.
What?
Oh.
Not
like edibles.
Small things.
You take an edible, it kicks in like several hours later.
Yes, exactly.
Edible.
But again, subtle things, okay?
So while we're asleep.
Like you might have dreams, for example.
Okay.
Once you start calling things in. So like if you're looking to speak to your father, right? And you're saying, okay, I really want to have that happen. And we go through the process of doing that. You might be like, oh, okay, I didn't have that much here, but you might have the dream that you're asking for. Okay. Cool. So it's just, again, subtle things, very subtle things. Because I don't know what your medium situations were before, but with me, they're usually subtle. Okay. Okay. So first things first, now that you've breathed into your candle, and I have my little notes that I made for you guys. I would like you all to kind of take a few deep breaths and ground yourself. Close your eyes, okay, and into your space. I would love for you to tell Spirit that you're ready to receive.
Out loud.
Out loud?
I would love that. Thank you.
Should we go on at a time or just do it all at once?
However you feel it. We're going by feeling.
I'm ready to receive, spirits.
I'm ready to receive, spirits.
I'm ready to receive, spirits.
Ready to receive.
I'm ready to receive, spirits.
Ready
to receive. I'm ready to receive.
Ready to receive, spirit.
I am ready to receive, spirits.
Okay, spirits, I am ready to receive. Any messages that you would like to send to all of us today? We are open, we are ready, and we are willing.
Spirits, any messages you want to send to us today? We are open, we are ready, we are willing.
Any messages you want to send today? We are open, we are ready, we are willing.
Any messages?
Spirits, any messages you want to send today?
Any
We're
messages you want to
open,
say?
we're willing. We're ready.
We're ready, we are willing. Messages you want to send today? We are open, we are ready, we are willing.
So the first things that I would love for you guys to do is I would love you to trust what you're starting to receive. Anything that comes in, because we're working on our connection to spirit right now. Anything that comes in, I would love for you to say it out loud. A feeling, a thought, a vision, an idea. I keep seeing yellow chairs. I have no idea what that means. That has happened since yesterday. Maybe for somebody here. But anything that comes in, just trust it.
I have a yellow chair. I'm sitting on a yellow chair.
Yellow chairs coming in all day yesterday. Maybe that is connected to someone you know or lost as well. Go ahead.
Like, can you speak to? And I know this is a line from the movie, but genuinely, can you speak to dead animals?
Yes, animals come in all the time, and I was just gonna say, so funny because I've been having a cat coming since yesterday as well. So I don't know if anyone lost a cat, but there is a cat that keeps coming in. But yes, absolutely, animals come in all the time too.
Because my dog Sammy, who was 17 and died last year, he used to love this yellow chair.
Oh,
favorite place, and we got it, and it was like suede, and we were like, the dog's never getting on this chair. It's too nice. We paid too much money, and of course the dog like just only wanted to go on that chair, and it eventually became Sam's chair.
That is so crazy because that has been coming in since yesterday. So that absolutely must be confirmation for you because I was getting that. Normally it will come in for me sooner, but I was getting that literally yesterday. I was like telling people, oh my God, this yellow chair situation must be for them. It has to be.
He loves that yellow chair.
But also, Rob is sitting on a yellow chair right now.
Yeah, but that's spooky. Let's not say that.
My feeling is it's probably your lost dog who passed that wanted to just let you know that. Okay, so anybody else, you guys, I would love for you to participate and just let people know what you're feeling, because we're getting messages for each other.
I have Ava Gardner. And and it's so random. Ava Gardner has just come into my head. That would be really cool, because I'd fangirl real hard if it was Ava Gardner. But yeah, it's really strong as well.
You know, it's not that uncommon for people we admire who've passed to come through. Isn't that kind of weird? Like,
hey girl.
So that has happened to people when we do it in person a lot. They're like, oh my gosh, this person that I admired, is it crazy that I think they're here? Oftentimes they are, and it's just confirmation from spirit to let you know that they know you, they see you, they're there with you.
That's something that happens quite a lot.
You're feeling it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a thought or a vision. It's like you feel that energy that comes in with that.
It feels really warm and charming.
Yes. Yes.
It's really like charming, but I have had some rosé, so I don't know if it's that.
I'm always better when I have a drink when I do this too, but it's like not the time here. But, you know, always, because my filter goes away. Really, truly. But no, that's confirmation from spirit, and you're getting that. So when I ask about that, because that's what I'm doing, I tend to, if you see me looking off into the sunset, that's me kind of asking, can you clarify? Can you clarify? When I ask about that, that's spirit saying, confirming to you that they don't want you to have a negative experience about the afterlife. They don't want you to be fearful, because there are a lot of you particularly also have a female energy coming in that is not that energy, that wants to communicate with you on a consistent basis, not just here. And when we're afraid of it, we push out relatives. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But when we have fear of any kind of spirit communication, because of things we've seen or things we've been told or whatever, we tend to block all of it. So even like relatives who I say are more subtle than like things that are dark or hard, they'll take a step back because they like to wait till you're ready.
Oh, wow. My mum's Chinese, so she's like incredibly superstitious. Like, she won't even give me my time of birth, so I can't ever do a birth chart reading.
Yeah.
And so like something that I've always wanted to do is do that, so I've always been a little apprehensive of any of this. This is why I got so scared in the first seance.
Yeah, I understand that. And listen, everybody comes from that place, I think, right? Because we come from a place of not really understanding and being kind of taught that it's really bad or scary, or we're going to open the floodgates to something negative. But the reality is, and this might scare you worse than the seance, and I'm so sorry for saying this. The reality is that when in entity work, when we're dealing with things that people consider demons or low frequency energies, whatever you want to call that, okay? We don't need to give them permission to come in. So in other words, all of the good things, all of these high frequency beings, high beings, you know, angel, what people call angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, all of that, they like to have permission because they need free will. They don't cross boundaries with people's free will, but negative shit will. It will. So you could be unconscious, never touching a tarot card or anything like this, and you could still have attachment. That has nothing to do with anything. So it's really important to actually open ourselves up to things that are high frequency so we can have this. Because truly, honestly, it is our birthright that we come in with to be able to speak to those who have passed. Every single person on this planet can do it. That's why I'm asking you to participate to do it. Because we just end up kind of closing it off and becoming cynical and not allowing it in anymore and not trusting what we receive. So we block it out. We just say that's us.
And if we invite those higher frequencies, does that protect from the more negative influences?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And your relatives and your spirit guides and all of this want to work with you and talk to you all the time. So it's kind of sad that people have that idea that if we open ourselves up, bad things happen. It's like bad things are happening all around us all the time. You know, might as well let some good energy in. Yeah.
Boundaries, like you were saying, like with boundaries with people, like, you know, if people aren't good people, they will cross those boundaries anyway, like in real life. So I guess the same with bad low frequency.
Well, and deceased people are a little different. So deceased people, if we which we're not going to do, I won't do this because this would be crazy, but if we called some nasty person in. If we had that come in, that entity would have less respect for your boundaries, but still to a certain amount, they don't attach. It's not the same thing as entity. Entity, you know, when we're talking about position and things like that, we're talking about entities. People can be annoying and really piss you off and throw things and turn lights on and off and make a mess and just be general pains in the butt, but they don't attach. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, back to the seance, you guys. Anybody feeling anything else? Any other things coming in for anybody else?
I'm hearing banging from somewhere. I
It's
think
from
Dina.
me, yeah, but it's Alan in the next room.
So you think.
Now, if he hears something as well, then it will be like, okay, but no.
Anybody feeling or receiving anything that they're kind of nervous about speaking about, or just weird or doesn't make sense?
How do we know if we're receiving it or if we're just kind of making, like pulling that vision into our head and kind of thinking, like, you know, envisioning it and like making us think that it's something that we're receiving?
So the difference is, again, we're talking about subtlety, right? So this is why it's kind of hard when we're first starting out to do things like this. But when we have it with a feeling, it's usually accompanied by a feeling, sometimes negative, sometimes positive, sometimes very slight. But it's when we're asking to do these kinds of things and we're saying we're open to it, oftentimes those things will come in quickly. So it'll be like, I don't know what you're seeing, so whatever it is, let's say it's an image, that image is coming in very quick, and you're also having, oh, wait, okay, a questioning kind of, is that, should I say this? Should I say this kind of feeling, like it over and over? Should I say it?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I don't know, because I was just trying to envision, I guess, whatever spirit I was trying to get in contact with. So I kind of had an image of my maternal grandmother like brushing her hair. And that was something that I wasn't sure if that was just what I was envisioning or if it was something I was receiving.
Now, is that something that came in when you were fairly blank, or was that something that was part of something else?
I don't know.
Do you want me to ask?
Sorry?
You want me to ask?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so they're saying that, yes, she is trying to come in actually for you. They're saying that she actually has left you things. She has left you, she keeps showing things like coins, bows, things like this. There's something that you keep finding that she's leaving you. But mostly, I keep seeing coins.
Okay.
Keep looking.
Okay.
Keep looking, because that's what's coming through.
Thank you. I can't think of anything right now, but
that's okay. It sort of works that way. So sometimes what happens is you see it and you don't acknowledge it for a while, and then suddenly it will come faster and faster and faster for you. So if you haven't seen coins or haven't noticed the coins yet, they are there. So as a follow-up, if you find some, please make a note.
Okay.
Isn't that a thing, like pennies? If you see pennies all the time, I know pennies are common on the ground, but that's like supposed to be a sign from someone?
It can be. So sometimes they leave coins. Why they pick things that are very common is because, again, we're really blocked. So when we're very blocked, they try to pull things that, oh, are you going to notice this small thing, this small thing, this small thing? So it's usually coins. Sometimes it's spirit animals, a lot of butterflies. They send a lot of butterflies. They send sometimes personal items, like on occasion, like for that one, bows also came in, or ribbons. So that could be something. But they also send feathers, lots of feathers.
I've been getting a lot. My puppy has been picking up a lot of feathers.
Yeah, in weird places.
It's a butterfly.
You ate a butterfly.
Yeah, he ate a butterfly, guys. It was really.
That's
not
a
good.
strange omen.
I saw a butterfly get eaten by a spider this morning.
Cool, but also not nice.
Oh,
Yeah, lots of feathers. Like outside, there's loads of feathers. Just in my garden.
In strange places. Like, why is it all here?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they will be as gold descending feathers inside a house in weird places.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all messages from relatives usually that are trying to come in. So be on the lookout for those things. That's why I say it's very subtle. Like when you're doing this on a daily basis, when you're looking for spirit on a daily basis and you're actively raising your vibration and trying to communicate, they will send those things in strange places. And oftentimes people will disregard it completely and just keep going like it's nothing. But this is the way that they start communicating for you.
And how do you read it? Like, how do you take the feathers and then interpret it?
So feathers usually go by color. So the message is by color. So you can actually look that up. There are a lot of different people that sort through those colors and tell you what the color means.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, London, it's very much pigeon color, so gray.
Yeah, well, it's a specific message. But you know what's funny is I always think, oh, I'm always going to find the same color feather, and you'll find that you don't, actually, if you start really looking.
Does it help to have... Sorry. Oh, no. Dina, go.
I was going to say that I started having a very weird headache out of nowhere, maybe like half an hour before this session, and it's just not going away. I don't know if that means anything.
So usually when deceased people are around, there's pressure that will cause intense headache, and there's also the opening of that kind of third eye crown chakra situation, which also can bring headache. So you might have had someone who was with you during that time and is now fluttering away. Or you got used to the vibration of that energy that's going like this. And I keep doing that because that's how I always see deceased people. It's like fast, very what I call sideways energy that hits the body.
Okay.
So be adjusting to that as well.
And what other signs?
Getting anything? Go ahead.
What other signs can we look out for in day to day?
So day to day, lights flickering is a huge one. Lights flickering happens all the time. That's another way that they try to communicate. They also communicate through dreams. So if you're not ready to see them physically, you know what I mean? They will come in dreams, and you will know that they came in that dream because you will feel extremely intense and you will feel a great deal of warmth in that dream. So it's a very different kind of feeling than you would have normally. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so when you said that about dreams, I had a weird experience, I guess, the day that my granddad died, like my mom's father. So I was just sleeping, she was in the next room, and like I think 2 seconds before she walked into my room to tell me the news, I had no idea. I woke up and I already knew. I don't know how, that's very weird, it's the weirdest thing ever, but she walked in and she told me, oh, my dad's just passed away, and I was just like, I know. That's my only response to her was I know, and I have no idea how I knew. I can't remember a dream about it or anything, but it was just like really freaky. I wasn't surprised.
Okay, well, there are 2 things to tell you on that. Okay, 2 things to tell you, and you're gonna laugh because you're gonna be like, are you kidding me? No, that's not me. Because I don't know you, but I'm telling you the energy's coming in, so you're gonna laugh and you're gonna be like, no way, So he was with you that night, not in a dream. He actually visited with you. I don't know if you're going to remember this or not, but keep this in mind. Think about this, okay? If you can go back to that point in time, because you might have blocked some of this out, but he actually held your hand and sat at the foot of the bed with you. This is what he's saying. I held her hand. I was there. And then the other thing that's not coming from him, but coming from them, plural spirit, is that, and here's where you're going to laugh, and here's where you're going to say, no way, I'm not doing that. You actually, in particular, have very strong mediumship ability. I'm telling you. What did I say you were going to do?
I can see that with Radina. I can see that.
True. I'm telling you, you can it all up. But there's an inherent mediumship gift in you. So if you were not afraid and you are interested in opening it up a bit more, you're going to be so surprised at how much is going to come in and how much you're going to remember about when you, here's them saying again, how much you're going to remember about when you were a child and you actually saw a lot of things which shut you down. That's what closed it up because of the fear of that. So just
I saw the ring and that was it.
Before that. Before that.
Okay, interesting.
Also, the ring, that's not a deceased person. Not anymore.
Question: if someone's half dead, can they contact you as well?
So yes. So when we're talking about things like people in a coma, people who have Alzheimer's, pets who are about to pass can actually show up in spirit form.
Because when I was really young, and I just moved to boarding school, my mum didn't tell me that, my mum, when I wanted to speak to my dad, my mum would just pawn it off as something else. And then I called my mum and I just went, because she was trying to protect me, and I went to my mum, I went, Dad's in hospital, isn't he? And she went, yeah, he's having a heart surgery because he had a heart attack.
Yes.
And I knew, it happened as a dream. And I called my mum the next morning, and we were only allowed to use one phone in our dormitory, which is and you were only allowed to make one call a day. And I called my mum and I went, the first thing I said was, Dad's in hospital, isn't he? Because I had a dream that was really strong. So I was I just knew, something in me knew.
Yes. Now here's where you're going to laugh. Okay, prepare. So yes, you can have visitations from people who are, and I don't want to say it like this because it's not what happened, but near transition or having a trauma that pulls them out of their body. You can have those kinds of things happen. But here's where you're going to laugh. So what they're saying here about you, so funny, you guys. I don't know what's up with this cast. This is so funny because now with you, it's not mediumship, it's psychic energy. So for you, it's premonition. That's not the only thing that you've known before it's happened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't make this up. This is what they're saying. They're saying you've this is also very funny. Sorry, I'm on a tangent now, you guys. I'm sorry. They're saying that you have a lot of deniability about it, though. You don't want to know. You don't want to. You're like, I don't believe that I knew that, but you can't not know it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've predicted a lot of things that were going to happen.
Yeah. And also, not to be scared of, I feel like what they're showing me is part of the reason that you get scared about this stuff too, is that you've had a few times where you've been pretty correct about someone passing or about to pass. Yeah. But please don't be afraid of that. You didn't make that happen. If you have any guilt or weird feelings about that, please know that that's not what that was.
That's so weird. Yeah, I've predicted people passing just before they passed.
I know, and that's scary and it's upsetting. Believe me, I know that. So just know that that's not, you had nothing to do with that. It was not your fault. There was nothing about that. You just happen to have that amazing gift. It's that is a double-edged sword gift for sure, but you have it, and you have predicted also nice, good things as well. And if you open yourself up more to it instead of close it down, same thing, you're going to get more of the good and not just all the bad.
That's so weird. What?
I'm now I want to explore all your faces and be like, what have you got? Because something's going on with this cast. You were all put together for a reason. I'm like, who's got what?
I want to ask.
Who's heading next?
I want to ask Gemma, Jed, and Robert. Are you taking notes on this? Just for
this is all going in the sequel.
This is host ready. Recording this, right?
Yeah.
So another thing I'm getting, you guys, that's coming in is someone keeps showing me this kind of weird hat. I don't know what this means, and forgive me, I don't have all the words for different hats, but it's like this, and then like a Wish I could just like pull a picture and show you. Like this is a male energy. This is an older male energy though. Feels like grandfatherly, who had hats and also pipes. I'm seeing hats and pipes.
My granddad smoked a pipe, I think.
Okay. I'm also seeing like a sports coat, like a corduroy jacket type thing, like you know the kind that have like the patches here?
Yeah.
Does this resonate for you? Is this?
That's a different granddad. Do you have a granddad? Yeah, but yeah, okay. Patches with the other granddad.
Okay, so one's the pipe, one's the sports coat.
As far as I know, maybe they both smoked pipe.
Both have hats. Right, both have hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. My trigger object is actually from my granddad, because we were very close. But I don't remember. I was young. I don't remember him ever smoking a pipe. He was smoking cigarettes.
I think this particular one is both these granddads coming together.
I have a photo on my wall of my great uncle Guy Gibson, who was in the Dam Busters, with a pipe in his mouth, and he's got a uniform on from the RAF from World War II, and they have arm things. I would take it off, but I've actually put it on with that really good sticky stuff that doesn't ruin rented walls. I would put it on. But it is literally, he sat there with a pipe and.
So this, let me clarify so I can ask what this is before I open my mouth, because you know. And for me, you just froze. Actually, did you freeze for everybody?
Not for us.
Okay, so for me, you just froze. So that's most likely a yes. But let me just ask. Okay. Yes. This is for you. This is not the man who died. But I mean. This is a man who died. This is not the same man who died. Okay, so this was an uncle of yours? This is an uncle? Because this feels very grandfatherly. This person was what to you?
So he's a great uncle, and my great aunt, Eve Moore, was the only other actress in the family, and Eve, I don't know, there's always this connection with Eve and Ava Gardner, because so there's this weird like family, not a family link there, but it's, yeah, he's come up a lot recently actually.
Okay, so then this might be him coming through.
I just don't want to, it's this thing where I'm like, not again. But then also Guy is someone who seemed like a pretty cool dude. But I didn't know him, but there's lots of stuff around our house about him.
You didn't know him, but he's around you a lot of the time. He's saying, that there's something that you're doing, and I don't know if this is acting or I don't know you. So there's something that you're doing that he feels very connected to. I don't know if there's like some kind of hobby that you do. Okay, what he's saying is, he keeps showing me a lot of plants.
Oh my God, guys, you know me so well. Who knows me that I've got like 100 plants?
Okay. So that's
the
hobbies.
Honestly, my partner tells me if I get another plant, one has to go. Like it's a pouring one out situation now.
Okay.
You know, Gemma does a podcast called The Hobby Cast, where she interviews people about their hobbies.
Oh, I did not see it, you guys. This is him for sure then. So he's going off about plants. He just is going off about plants. This guy is actually very funny. So you didn't get to meet him? Because he's got a good sense of humor, this guy.
So Eve Moore had a play and he sat in the same seat every single night to watch her, and then took her out for a drink and that's how their romance started.
Oh,
He's very charming, and he was a lot younger than her. But yeah, he apparently was very charming. The poster boy. Winston Churchill took him over to America because he was like the poster boy for World War II.
And by the way, he's also saying, excuse me, can you please also tell the world, he's saying, can you please also tell the world that I was very handsome?
He sounds like, it sounds like something, I feel like he was very good looking.
Yeah, he's like, I want the whole world to know I was very handsome. Please don't leave that out. No, he's saying, it's so funny because he's like, he's showing that he also very much enjoyed plants. I don't know if he had plants or kept them, but he very much did. And he is with you every time. This is why he's around all the time. This is what he's clarifying. He's with you like every time you're around the plants, every time you're doing something with plants. So if you're like repotting things, or you got a new one, or you're moving them around, or you're just watering them, he's always there.
That's so lovely. Can you tell me how to save the plant that's dying in the bedroom? Can I ask questions like that?
Let's see what he has to say about that.
Dying, and I don't know what to do, and I've tried everything.
So I asked, and I'm no plant expert, so I'm going with what he's telling me, okay? Because I also have killed many plants, so this is from him. He's saying it needs a specific kind of plant food, like a food mixture into the soil.
Okay, that's actually that's interesting, because that happened a lot with a lot of other plants that I had. They were lacking in food.
That's what he's saying. It needs
to. Very good, guys. I'm so glad I'm giving everyone some plant tips based on guys.
I mean, I feel like I just learned something. Like I need to check mine for food.
You do. That's so interesting. I'm so happy that that's happened. Hi, Guy. Hi, Guy.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to speak out loud. And also for everybody, don't be afraid to speak out loud to anybody that's passed, because they can hear you. They absolutely can hear you. And please, everybody know, because I know these are questions also, and you've done this with mediums, so I'm sure I'm just repeating myself without repeating myself. Anyone who has passed, even if they've had a trauma, which some of you have had people who passed through trauma, and some really very quickly, actually, they're good. They're okay. Like they're well, actually, extremely well. And you don't have to ask if they're proud of you, because they're proud of you. You know, there are some people, and this is why I'm doing this in a general way, because I don't want to call anybody out on anything, and you don't have to say anything to confirm this, okay? There are some people who had people pass who they felt were not proud of them, did not like where they were going in life, did not like the choices they were making. There is someone here who also feels like they disappointed someone who passed and wish they could have done better. Let me just tell you right now, they are not disappointed in you. One of you definitely has someone who kind of gleamed on the more narcissistic space. They're not that anymore. And let me also say this, and I'm just saying this generally, okay? So we didn't, again, don't confirm anything. When someone passes who has not taken responsibility for treating you badly, or the world, or whatever, when they have their own mental illnesses that don't allow that to happen in life, please don't feel like there's no closure to that, because they have to take responsibility in death. They don't get a free pass. So anyone who has been suffering with that, like, oh man, I really wish this person had just apologized or done this or done that or whatever, know that they are in the afterlife. It might take a minute. They don't cross like it's not like, you know, how we've been taught where people cross and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, everything is great. And I know everything about everything. They still kind of have their personality for quite some time. And if there are lessons that they still need to go through, they will do that during that time. But just know that. And then There's also someone coming in who is a female figure, a maternal figure, who is just saying that I'm just trying to clarify, I'm sorry. Okay, this is very weird. I'm just gonna say it. There's a maternal figure coming in who is saying absolutely very clearly, I really like your hair now. I don't know who that is for. I feel like this person is saying something totally weird.
My gran hated my hair.
There we go.
Hated my hair. But I don't know if she'd approve of my lockdown cut.
Oh.
Going for quite long.
I think she's being facetious. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just about to say, I think she's making a joke. Like she wants you to know.
That sounds like her. When I was a teenager and I grew my hair long, she used to call my head, she used to compare it to like rat tails.
Okay, so this is her. She's very, very, again, a very funny woman.
She's quite like, yeah, she was funny, but like quite cutting.
Oh, yes. She's got a big personality, this woman. A big personality.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she is showing me, okay, this is also weird. So just keep with me now. She is also showing me baked goods. Lots of baked goods.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this makes sense to you.
Yeah, lots of cake.
Okay. And did she was baking with you? She baked for you?
She baked for us mostly.
Okay. And she's also chiming in that she ate plenty of cake herself. This is what she's telling me.
She did, yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, she's like, I also enjoyed my cake. I don't know why she's saying that. I don't know if she's trying to tell me that she was like not a skinny woman.
No, she was quite skinny, but she basically she had like a stomach operation, and she didn't eat for a long time, and then towards the end she kind of rediscovered eating again.
Okay, so I think that's what she's just trying to say. She's like, I want to just chime in that I did do that, because I think that what she's trying to put out there is that she did enjoy at the end. She did enjoy.
Yeah, no, she was having full meals again by the end.
That's awesome. Okay, I like that story. Yeah, but she's also saying, well, she is saying this. I mean, like I said, I already told you this, but she is saying that she properly wants to tell you that she's proud of you. Very properly, she says. I want to properly state that to you.
Oh.
So I don't know if there was like an issue there, but she's just very much like, I want to.
No, but she didn't really understand what I was doing.
Yeah, this makes sense, because she's like, I really want him to know, like it was very big deal that to tell you that she's like, she gets it basically now. And she's really proud of what you're accomplishing. And she said to tell you, okay, this is nice. Maybe you already know this, but she said to tell you two things. She said, first of all, there's many more successes in your future that she knows. She knows this. So she's like, don't be scared. For whatever reason, she's saying, don't be scared. Maybe you're having whatever. We don't need to get into that. We don't need to get into the whys. Keep that to yourself. But she's saying, don't be scared. There is something big that's coming. She wants you to jump in. Don't be scared.
Okay.
Is she talking about Host 2 specifically? Or that's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know what it is, but it's something, right? So it's whatever it is. She keeps showing me a pool, and she's like, you got to jump in the deep end.
Wow, we've had some bad experiences with pools.
Don't break your neck.
Well, don't do that. Yeah. Maybe that's why she's showing you a pool, because she wants to confirm this for you.
Yeah.
You know, just jump in. And she's also hilariously on the flip side of that saying, because I'm watching.
Oh God. Okay.
So I think she's like, wants you to be accountable. She's like, I'm watching you, just better jump in.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, there you go. Does anyone else like want to try and bring somebody in specifically? Because I usually just go with what comes.
Teddy had a trigger object.
Yeah, I want to see if Granddad's out and about.
What's the object?
I've got a photo of him, and then I did have.
He looks cool, Teddy.
Oh, he's a baller, mate. Full-time baller. Look at that handsome man.
Nice.
Oh, it kind of looks like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
A little bit.
He loved painting. They painted me this. I did have an accordion, but he nicked it from someone in the war, so I didn't know. I didn't want to channel somebody else. So, yeah, he gave me this painting and painted it for me.
Okay. Let me see what I can do. Let me see. This is weird over actual Zoom, but let's see what we can do. Okay, let me ask. Okay, so I'm hoping this is him because he just keeps showing me alcohol. Alcohol.
He did love a drink.
Okay. Yeah, he's showing me like beer. Like, does this make sense?
He was very fond of IPA. That was his drink.
Okay.
And whiskey.
Okay. He's okay. So I'm assuming this is him, but I'm going to just speak in general terms. This person is saying that they died naturally, that there was no trauma.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Just want to confirm.
Sleep.
Yeah. Oh, really? No trauma. Yeah, and older. He's also saying older. I was older.
Yeah, he was like 90 something.
Okay, so yes. He's saying that he feels good about, so this is definitely him because now he's mentioning you specifically. He says he feels really good that he got to see you grow. Does that make sense to you? He's making that a specific point is what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. That does make sense. Yeah, he was around quite a bit, and he was quite involved in it in our childhood. So yeah, that certainly applies, I think.
Yeah. Okay. He's also saying, and I don't want to put you on the spot, so you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. But he's also saying that he feels like he protected you a lot. He's saying that he feels like he did a really good job kind of showing you the beauty in life. Like he really wanted to instill a value of beauty to you.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredibly involved. He got me the accordion because he used to be into music and painting and things like that. He was certainly a creative individual and kind of would encourage that within me. So yeah, certainly.
Yeah. He's saying like it's a really weird mix because he's saying like the finer things, but he doesn't mean expensive. If that makes sense to you, because that's not really, he doesn't really care about that. He says, I don't really care about financial things.
No, he was a very simple, sounds derogatory. No, I don't mean it in that context. I mean, he would find beauty in what most people might consider mundane.
Yes.
And yeah, very finely in tune with that and very detailed about it.
And very naturey. He's showing me a lot of things like flowers and fields and trees. Just finding all of like skies and things like that. That was kind of his thing. He's like, I really wanted that.
Yeah, he used to paint a lot of landscapes. And
yeah,
he,
okay.
There
you go.
It was so nice. I think he's the only person that went to fight in Germany and then decided he wanted to live there with my nan and move back up.
No, but that's beautiful. So that's confirmation that that's for sure him then, because he keeps showing all of those landscapes. And he says that he also, he knew what you wanted for a career. He knew this. He's saying he knew this. That resonates? Yeah, he's saying, I knew it and I supported it. I wanted that. I wanted that for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. He was incredibly supportive. I think I could have suggested any profession, even a juggler. He would have sung my praises, encouraged me.
Yeah, but you know what is funny though that he's saying, which you might laugh at because you might not think it this way or think about it this way, but he's saying, I think what you do is beautiful.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, he really does. He's like, it's beautiful. I love it. Like he just keeps saying, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Everything is beautiful. So just know that he's okay and he loves you and he thinks you're doing great and wanted to actually talk to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Of course, of course. I'm happy when it comes in. Because you can't predict it, you know?
Can I wee? Sorry. Can I do the
Absolutely.
Such a Gemma character thing, but I really desperately need a wee.
I actually do too, but I didn't say.
Panic wee. Here we go.
Can we? Is it okay?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Rob's gone again for the 4th time.
Okay. 2 seconds.
How do we if we have someone in mind that we want to speak to, how do we reach out to them?
Just personally, you mean? When on your time?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a couple of things you can do. Honestly, just starting to speak aloud and acknowledge them brings them in. So here's another way to know too. Have you ever just been going about your day and everything is like fine, and then all of a sudden, here comes this image of this person, like in your mind, just happened, this person who's passed. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, I wasn't even thinking that. That happens because they're with you in that instant. So acknowledging them aloud brings more of that in. That's like number one, just acknowledge. You can also say out loud to them, listen, you person, I would really like to know you're with me. So can you send like something for me to see and notice, like repeating patterns, repeating numbers, song lyrics that you make me notice, things that I would associate with you, the feathers, coins, butterflies situation. You can ask for specific things. You can ask them to flicker your lights. You can ask them for all of that. Now, it may not happen on your timeline. Like you might be like, I'd like you to flicker lights, and they don't do it that minute, but they will at some point when you're not expecting it, which is kind of more fun. Because they're pranky. These people are a little pranky. So, you know, they don't always do things right when you ask, but they will do it. So, if you want to do that on your own, you can. Literally, my own, one of the things that I teach people to do, like on Instagram and stuff, is what I call a 30-day connection to spirit, which raises your vibration. The higher your vibration goes, the more easy it is not just to hear your deceased relatives or see them if that's what you choose with your eyes, but also spirit guides, being connected to the universe, connected to all these invisible things that people unconsciously don't connect to, because it makes your life better. That's simply put. There are a lot of reasons why, but it makes your life better. And if you do want to expand your gifts, which I think maybe all of you have to a certain degree, like varying gifts, I would start doing that if you want to, if you're interested.
This may sound like an inane question, but what do spirits do in their like spare time? Like when they're not hanging out and being with us, like do they just kind of went on a whim, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be with my relative today, and then what are they doing otherwise?
Well, they actually move at a very faster. They're very fast, so they can actually do things like be with you and then be away from you in a fraction of time that we understand here. So they hang out in what I call source, which is, you know, whatever you want to call afterlife, heaven, you know, all of these things. And they actually learn, and they go through processes, of healing things that they've done here on this planet. And if they were just awesome and did cool, like I feel like my grandfather was that guy. My grandfather was like very quiet, pretty awesome guy, passed, you know, and then like within months of his passing, I couldn't feel him anymore. And that was because he'd already come back, because it was just so clean. He was just such a clean individual. Most people a little dirtier, right? So it takes them longer. And when you are in that other space, you decide whether you want to come back here or not, because you don't have to, because it's kind of hard.
And come back, you mean like reincarnation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Reincarnation is a choice. Most of us have been here many, many times. Some of us who have higher abilities have been here doing this work for I don't even know how long. And it's hard. So sometimes people pass and they're like, nah, no thanks. I'll take this one out, sit with this one out.
So through seances, I'm sorry if I'm like derailing this, but through seances, could you potentially get a peek into your past lives?
Sometimes. And also when you do the 30-day connection, like I not to push that on you, but like when you do something, let's say that kind of elevates that high frequency, you actually get more information from spirit about everything. So if your past life situations are relevant to your now lives, which a lot of times they are, you'll start getting those. So you'll start feeling connections to cultures that you don't really know about, or, you know, time periods that you're not really sure about. You'll start, like for myself, one of the things that always comes back to me is I have dreams where I've died in several lives. So I'll see how I died, and I'll actually feel my soul leave the body. It's real weird, super weird. But like one time it was like something falling from the sky. So, you know, that was really odd. And but you'll start to kind of get so many of them.
And does that get triggered? Does that get triggered by like trauma? So if you were to see or hear about someone falling or like a skydive going wrong, does that trigger you into having images come up in your mind?
Sometimes, but most of the time what triggers past live images is you moving up the ladder. So in other words, when I talk about like high frequency, high and low frequency, and I'm talking about what we have when we walk around, right? So it's like the energy that we put out into the world, the energy we have when we talk to ourselves, you know, all of this, right? And if I always say, like on a scale of 1 to 10, if 1 is dead and 10 is Buddha, most people are like at a 4.5, right? Kind of just under the conscious line. When we start opening things up and we start moving up that, where we're more conscious and more conscious of our self-talk and how what we do affects the planet, how what we do affects other people, how we make waves in that way, how we attract things into our lives, all of this like very complicated stuff. When we start to move up that space, it's like little gifts. It's like, I like to think about it like a video game, right? Like life is like a video game. Working with spirit's like a video game. So you move up different levels, and then as you level up, you get more information. So it's actually kind of nice. And even though it sounds scary, it's kind of peaceful to get that information, because then you're like, oh, I totally understand why I hate blah, blah now, right? Because I freaking died like that last time. Does that make sense? So like, you know, things that like you're like have a weird paranoia about now that you can't even figure out why you would, oftentimes is connected to past life trauma.
I have that about car crashes. When I was when I went to Cannes Film Festival, I saw 2 cars collide and 1 car flip over 3 times in front of me, and I could like hear the people screaming. But before that, I'd always had I don't know if this is like a premonition thing, but I'd always had this thing about car crashes, and then since then I've also had a thing about car crashes, and I don't know, it's so prominent like all the time. So, but the thing when you were like, oh, you can see things into the future, I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna die in a car crash?
No. You might have already had that image before you saw it. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna die in a car crash.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I had like it was so prominent, and then when I was at Cannes, I saw that, and it was just like,
yeah,
weird.
That's part of your ability, because they're literally saying that you're not going to die in a car crash.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
So forget that part. That's done.
Okay, good.
All right, guys. Well, should we wrap up? I mean, did we do enough? Do you feel good?
Yeah, that was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you so much.
if we're ever in LA, can we come and hang out with you?
Yeah. Come hang
Do it
out.
for real.
You can see
Yeah.
my room where I am in here, like all my crazy weird.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Are you in the dome? Are you in like a dome?
Yes, I'm in what is lovingly called the egg chair.
Brilliant. I love it.
Dome. That looks nice.
So do we use our incense now to close off?
Yes, okay, so we'll close it out. Now, please don't forget, after this, when you have experiences, so that's going to be open, like we said, for like a few hours, maybe through the night while you sleep, not scary stuff, but like the people who came in. So if you do, just make a note of it, let us know. And then also, if you decide to take pictures in the dark with your phone, so that you can see like anything that comes up in the room.
Mm-hmm. And for Emma, because Emma's really scared to go to sleep after shooting post. She like, honestly, she texts me like 4 a.m. that she's scared. What can she do?
Okay, so this kind of all goes together. What do you guys have with you? I know we talked about one type of incense. What do the rest of you guys have?
No, I got some sage.
Yeah, I got sage.
Oh, Teddy.
I've got droopy stage. Mine's a bit droopy.
That looks like spinach.
Maybe I got the good stuff.
You look like you're gonna have a salad.
How about salt? Salt for protection. Can you use salt?
Yeah. So
Use that with a salad.
honestly, what I would encourage her to get, if and you could always send it to her too if it's hard to get for her, is what I call or copal resin sticks. So it's an incense stick. You can get it like on Amazon or whatever, and it's it has you know, when I say resin stick, it's like got like the white powder of the actual rock on the stick. And I always want to go for that because that's pure versus something that smells like something, because I don't know what's in that. Those will actually neutralize energy in her space. They'll take it out. So I didn't get to talk to her, so I don't know what her situation is, but she also might be very highly psychic or highly sensitive to things that now are kind of exacerbated in her space.
She keeps seeing things in her doorway, like standing in her doorway every night, every single night.
Okay, well, if you want to tell her also to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to her privately. But for now, those resin sticks, they will neutralize everything in the space. They'll suck it out like a vacuum. Okay. And then burning something high frequency directly after. So as soon as that stick is down, now we have a high frequency item, which can be a number of items. It can be frankincense, it can be benzoin, it can be archangel blends, protection blends, because usually those have high frequency items in them. You know, anything like that. But if she needs stronger materials, I'm happy to just kind of talk her through what to do and how to do it. But that's a good start.
Cool.
That'd be great if you could. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because she had a lot of weird stuff happening during the shoot as well, didn't she? She had her phone was malfunctioning and the lights were flickering and.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, you know, let us hope that it's deceased people. Anything stronger than that, I can talk her through how to do that anyway, even if it's not. But let's just hope it is. So we'll start here. Maybe we just invited in a lot of like what we call also the freshly dead. And the freshly dead are people who are not necessarily attached to anybody that they're around, but they've had trauma, so they just are like freaked out.
Can I ask you as well, like, because you hear about like cursed films like The Exorcist and Poltergeist, where all these weird things happen. Like when you're kind of replicating these supernatural things, does that also act as an invitation, or is that just our imaginations running wild? Like Emma having all these things happening on the set of Host, is that?
I mean, yes and no. The easy answer is yes and no. You're communicating with spirit by doing things like this. but, you know, you can also take precautions every day before you do that too. And again, like, you know, it's really, it's hard to say without seeing what's going on there. You know what I mean? Like really.
Yeah, I suppose, sorry, no, because I just suppose one thing that we were worried about at the beginning is that every day we were acting out a seance, and one of the things that we were worried about is if we're acting it out and we're saying the same words, are we inviting something negative in, or is there a way to do that and be respectful?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, honestly, the best way to do that respectfully is to always say before you start any kind of thing, like, hey guys, I mean, just as simple as, hi guys, no disrespect, we're just acting, we really don't want anything negative in this space, we're just, you know, kind of shining a light on what could happen if you do this way. You know, it's very hard to keep entity out of things like that if it's you know, if it's just trying to be seen or a part of something. But most likely it's deceased people. Like, I want to say that. I really want to say that. I don't want to like start scaring anybody about like, oh, guess what? That's what happened. But most likely it is deceased people. And yeah, you can always burn things to protect during shooting things. You can have it blessed. You can do, I mean, however you work. It's always a good thing to have a set kind of taken care of by someone who knows these things, so that you can, you know, clear yourself every day and clear the space every day. You know, in this case in particular, it's like even harder because you're not going out to do something, like you're in your space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's really important to clear your space. And for her especially, if she's already seeing, you know, what she's seeing.
Yeah. She said her cats kind of like guard her door, like, and in the night as well. Weird.
My guess is it's some roaming around freshly dead person.
Oh God.
It sounds worse than it is. It sounds worse than it sounds harder to get rid of than it is. It's just somebody, most likely somebody who's had trauma, that because someone was opening the door and saying, I'm interested in listening to this, they just want to be like, oh my God, look at my trauma. Because they kind of do that. But you can ask it to go.
If I got mine from Etsy, I was quite basic, you know, like I'm a bit of a basic bee, and I got mine from Etsy, will it still work?
Yeah, sage is good. I have sage also, but even like Palo Santo, even if it's just this.
I thought Palo, because I got that as like a, so basic with the shell, and I got Palo, I thought Palo Santo brings stuff in. I thought that like invites.
No.
Right, so if I had the two going at the same time, because the first time we did it, I had blacked out all my windows, and I have a lot of windows, so I didn't have any ventilation. So I basically stayed to my house and then started a small fire in my front living room. So if I can go for those, will they cancel each other out, or can I do them and that'll be fine?
No, you can do them and that'll be fine. Palo Santo is actually a lot stronger. This is much stronger than sage.
Oh, grand. Okay, I'll use that then. Thank you.
And this actually...
What's stronger than sage? What's stronger than sage?
This guy?
Oh, okay. Where can you get that from?
Oh, anywhere. Amazon, again. Any kind of like cool new age store has these. Etsy.
Yeah.
It's a very specific piece of wood. You light it, you know, just like so, and it goes out in like 2 seconds, much like sage, and then you just clear.
Yeah.
Why does everyone else's look different to mine? Am I just going to be cooking vegetables here? Like,
yeah, you've got rocket.
Yeah, I've got fresh one as well, Teddy.
Yeah, I've got the packet.
Oh, that's like wild sage, isn't it? That's just...
It won't burn as well.
Yeah, it'll burn kind of weird, but you can still burn it.
Oh,
okay.
Why, can I ask why Palo Santo and sage? Just like why sage? Is there like a history behind sage?
Sage is always used for smudging. It's been used by many, many cultures for a very long time. You know, kind of consecrating spaces, that's good. What sage is really good for, but clearing spaces, not as great.
Yeah, because I have a Wicca friend, and you know, she has like, we have women's circles, and she'll smudge me before I come in.
Yeah, it's really good for consecrating, for ceremonial things. Bringing things in, actually, sage is a little metaphor, not to be scary to anyone. But usually good things, like ceremonial things. But Palo Santo is the jam. Copal is the jam. High frequency things to replace that energy in the space is the jam. So,
are there any specific crystals as well that are good?
Yeah, like you can use black tourmaline or smoky quartz to pull a lot of things out too, and especially if you have towers, and especially if you put them in corners. You just gotta like clean them up a bit every now and again.
Put them in the sun so you charge them, or put them on charge.
Or you can like salt water them, or moon charge them, or whatever. All of those are good. Now we got witchy.
Thanks so much, Rachel. That was amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I need to say that Host is currently streaming on Shudder. It is very good and very much worth your time. Excuse me. And of course, if you want to read more about this, we'll have a written article on slashfilm.com. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully we'll have positive we said 9 hours?
Yes, I want to hear what happens, you guys. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Hey guys, happy spookies.
Happy spookies, everybody.
Happy spookies.
Happy spookies.
Happy spookies. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Is that our time to go?